Hello, welcome to Middle East Matters here on France 24. Coming up in this edition. Record numbers of French Jews emigrated to Israel last year amid fears of growing anti-Semitism. Our correspondent went to meet some of them. Italy rescues more than 2,000 migrants attempting to cross the Mediterranean Sea. We take a look at the lucrative business of people smuggling. And a young band from Gaza wows the judges of Arab's Got Talent. First, Israel is the only place where Jews can feel safe in the face of rising anti-Semitism in Europe. Those words from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in the wake of Saturday's attack on a Copenhagen synagogue. But his calls for Jews to move to Israel were met with stern reaction from both Denmark's Prime Minister and Copenhagen's chief rabbi. Netanyahu's comments also echoed a similar message following the events in Paris last month. In fact, in 2014, Jewish emigration from France to Israel was greater than any other country. Our correspondent Gallagher Fenwick met with some French Jews in Israel, and as he discovered, integration into Israeli society has been easy for some and a struggle for others.
Dawn Abu-Hnish made Aliyah. She emigrated to Israel, where she lives off of her French retirement pension. She says that younger immigrants often have a much tougher time than she did.
My nephew lasted 2 years out here. He's a computer engineer. He's perfectly bilingual. He never found a job and had to go back to France after 2 years. That's unacceptable.
Learning a new language can also prove very challenging, especially when it comes to dealing with issues related to one's health.
Are you trying to get reimbursed?
I have no idea. It's all in Hebrew. I'll just hand you everything. I have no idea what this is. I don't understand any of it.
Aware that some of his patients have a hard time with Hebrew, Dr. Thierry Gage set up the first ever French-speaking clinic in Israel.
One of my concerns when I started this clinic was to avoid creating a French ghetto in Israel. That being said, we answered a real need for people out here. Patients tell me that if it weren't for this center, they would have left Israel.
There are people who manage to get by in Israel without knowing the local language. Some of them land odd jobs working for businesses like this one.
Everyone speaks French, it's easier that way. So Thierry has a meeting tomorrow at 7.
Thanks to state funding, these students are entirely taken care of for the first few months of their new lives in Israel. They take Hebrew lessons several days a week to help with their integration into Israeli society. Charlie already has a job and is rather confident about his future here.
With
any new challenge, the risk of failure is always there. One needs to be well prepared. You can't just say, hey, let's move there and we'll see what we'll do once we get there. No way. You have to think ahead.
In 2014, Jewish emigration from France to Israel was greater than from any other country. However, Israeli authorities don't share information or statistics concerning those who did not stay.
Next, a watery grave narrowly avoided once again after the Italian Coast Guard plucked more than 2,000 migrants from the Mediterranean Sea. Sunday's rescue operation took place between the Italian island of Lampedusa and the Libyan coast. Italy says that at one point during the mission, some of its coast guards were threatened by a group of people smugglers toting Kalashnikov rifles. While last year alone, more than 3,500 people died while attempting to cross the Mediterranean, prompting the UN to call it the most dangerous route in the world. Charles Pellegrin takes a closer look at the lucrative business of people smuggling.
Cargo ships waiting to be boarded. The city of Mersin in southern Turkey is one of the biggest ports of the country. It also happens to be less than 300 kilometers away from the Syrian border and its influx of migrants fleeing the war. Vessels. Turkish fishermen discreetly shuttle the migrants, and the cargo ships are out on open sea to avoid the scrutiny of Mersin's population.
Everyone does it, myself included. I can take up to 500 people on this boat right here.
At least 3 ships transporting illegal migrants from Turkey made the news last month. Combined, they held almost 1,500 people. None of these enormous boats were up to regulation. A simple web search proves that these types of vessels are readily available for sale. For human traffickers, buying a ship is as easy as buying a used car. At least 10 illegal cargo ships left Turkey's southern coast last month, and demand is still growing. In Mersin alone, over 2,000 Syrians are ready to embark, waiting in the city's many hotels. There are about 30 on this street, and they're all fully booked. In this one, amongst numerous transiting families, 2 Syrian students, ages 17 and 20, eagerly wait for the starting signal to their voyage.
30 minutes before, the traffickers sent us a text message to tell us there's a cargo ship, and then they pick us up.
Then, under cover of the night, the many migrants bunch up on small boats that take them to the cargo ships, far away from the coast, so as not to be noticed. The 2 Syrian students' dreams of Europe were dashed 3 weeks ago. Their boat broke down before they could even reach the cargo ship. Water flooded the vessel. Now, they're waiting for the next departure.
Either way, we'll keep trying, no matter how difficult it is. It's still better than the war at home.
Every day, dozens of Syrians escaping the conflict get off buses coming from the border. They are greeted by smugglers, often fellow Syrians, just like this man on the phone with migrants.
Go to the main gate. I'll be there soon.
The smuggler, seen here wearing a red sweater, is meeting 4 clients hoping to make it to Europe. They're all from the Syrian capital, Damascus. The negotiation takes place on this restaurant's terrace.
There are so many people just like you. I bring people every day.
I just want to be sure we arrive safely with someone we can trust.
The migrants want to leave as soon as possible.
Can you guarantee that we'll leave tonight on a ship that's in good condition?
If you pay the money, yes.
The smuggler is asking for $5,000 per person for the journey. After half an hour, the conversation turns sour.
How can you take advantage of a situation like ours? We came to see you because we thought you were a good person. Why are you doing this to us?
Hey, listen, don't insult me. Don't make me look like I'm taking advantage of you. I'm just telling you how it is, that's all.
Today someone told us you could do the trip for $3,000.
That's just hearsay. You can't get through even with $4,500. Do you know where these $5,000 go? To the police and the Coast Guards. So they give us a couple hours to pass, and the sailors who get $2,000 each.
Okay, $5,000 it is.
In this neighborhood, the migrant black market is flourishing. This restaurant owner also illegally sells life jackets. At 60 Turkish lira a piece, the $25, he sells about 100 every month. The European Union says that the fight against human trafficking is one of its priorities. In the last year, over 3,500 migrants have perished in the Mediterranean Sea, hoping to reach safer shores.
The win was hailed as a triumph for free speech. Taxi, a film by banned Iranian director Jafar Panahi, took home the top prize at the Berlin International Film Festival last weekend, winning the coveted Golden Bear. Panahi's film combines impressions of today's Tehran from behind the wheel of a yellow cab, while at the same time condemning censorship. Taxi is the director's 3rd movie to be smuggled out of Iran, defying a 20-year filmmaking ban. And finally, this band from Gaza was formed with the hope that the music would drown out the sound of bombing and shelling. 5 young Palestinian musicians who wowed the judges of Arab's Got Talent are hoping their budding success can raise awareness for their war-ravaged homeland. Mariam Saab has the story.
من وين جايين؟
من فلسطين من غزة.
Playing for peace, the Arab orchestra at Tahta Sharki has struck a chord with judges on Arab's Got Talent. The Palestinian musicians formed the band while bombs rained down on Gaza last summer.
During the war, I was terrified. I wanted to play under the table to cover the noise of the bombings, but I couldn't. The bombings were louder than the drums.
During lulls in fighting, the players would meet to rehearse at the National Conservatory of Music in Gaza.
I was scared. I was playing to feel better. If I was playing and a bomb hit, I'd throw away my instrument and then I'd pick it up again.
After fleeing to Egypt, the band reached Lebanon in September, where the hit TV show is based, opening their eyes to stardom, a life away from the perils of war.
As soon as we left, we realized that outside Gaza, there were no houses destroyed, not like our homes. Other countries don't live with the constant threat of war like we do. So we were happy to go.
It's not the first time Gaza has enjoyed reality TV success. Mohammed Assaf won the Arab Idol Singing Contest in 2013 and went on to become a Goodwill Ambassador for the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees.